Alrighty, so as I said, I wanted to continue and expand more on the discussions that we had last week about soul agreement. Okay, before we get started, I see that we have a call. I want to remind you to turn down your computer. Hello, you're on the air. Hello? Okay, I guess we got disconnected. So I would invite you to give me a call back if it's possible for you. So we make soul agreements with other beings who are incarnate in this world at the same time that we are. And remember that the whole purpose of our incarnations, of our experience on Earth is as spiritual beings having a human experience. The thing about being human is that in the physical body, we get to experience sensations and emotions in a different way than what can be experienced and understood in a non-body or a non-physical body. So getting to have this human experience is a great gift. And truthfully, we all agreed to do it, understanding that it would be like a wheel that we are participating on because of the experiment in free will and free choice. And we wanted to participate. We wanted to evolve. We wanted to know more and understand and become more of who we actually are. And so we all volunteered for this experiment that was happening on the earth plane in free will and free choice. And what this included was, unfortunately, we would have to lose, we would have to drop our vibration to the point that we would literally have amnesia. We would not remember who we are or what we're here to do. And that in itself became part of the journey, part of the process. Because you can't truly experience free will and free choice if you have a preconceived idea and never experienced it. So it's like the higher realms have cleared the slate for us whenever we come into this world. And the thing about it is that prior to our incarnation, we are fully consciously aware of what we want to experience, what gifts we want to bring in with us, what lessons we want to learn, what lessons we want to teach, the opportunities that we want to be made available for us on a particular journey. Let's face it, we're all different. We all have different desires and dreams and likes and dislikes and wants. And, you know, even though we are very, very dense, it is still our soul, our true essence that is experiencing and expressing through this physical body. So we're still who we always are. We just don't remember that. And as we talked last week, one of the opportunities that this time is presenting to us is bringing in enough light and love into the planet that it's helping us remember who we are. The vibration is increasing. And as the vibration increases, if you think of, say, a light, each of us as light beings being encased in this really hard clay mud, and we're trying to move and function and live our lives encased in this substance. And as the vibration begins to increase on the earth, then this stuff that we're wrapped in begins to crack and fall away. You know, kind of like a ice cold chocolate when it cracks and falls off of the vanilla ice cream. So it's an opportunity that we are having to remember who we are. And as things are as we begin to understand what we know different, it's shifting the perspective. And it's not just your individual perspective, but it's the collective perspective of humanity. the collective consciousness. And as more and more people awaken and become aware of what they know from a different perspective, everybody has the opportunity to tap into that knowledge and wisdom, because we're all going to do it different. Just as different as we are, there are that many solutions to different situations and problems or experiences that we encounter. And one person having a successful outcome of the choices that they made, all of that information, that energy, that wisdom, that struggle is released into the grid so that all of us have the opportunity, in essence, to tap into it. Just like using a search on a computer. It's just this one isn't physical. This one is something that from within we ask, show me how to do this, or, what is the solution? What's my next step? And it's our spirit guides and our guardian angels and all of those who are helping us in the non-physical realm navigate this physical realm that will begin to attract this information. That law of attraction applies in this way as well. So when we ask the questions, when we open ourselves to having new information and open our minds basically to not only having new information but also to understanding the old information different, a whole lot of stuff begins to shift. And these aha moments constantly lead to more and more aha moments. A lot of them you won't be consciously aware of because it's kind of like the domino effect. You set all the dominoes up in such a way that when you hit that first one, then they just all cascade and make this beautiful pattern. That happens to us as far as our belief systems are concerned and our awareness as it is being shifted and changed, as we let go of things that are not serving us, as we understand where we've been controlled and manipulated or conned and make the choice to not go there anymore or to stop that behavior. So many other things are affected by that one choice. So it's a wonderful journey. And it really is an easy process once we click to it. Now, of course, you're not changing the external world around you, but when you change your the way that you interact with it, it'll change everything. And as I've talked before, when you start changing you and releasing things that no longer serve you and let go of false beliefs that keep you limited and into fear and lack and judgment, one of the biggest challenges you're going to get is from those that are the closest to you. Because as you change, you force them to change. And they don't like it. They want to stay in their own comfort zone. And they want you to be there too. I got to believe that this is where that statement, misery loves company, comes from. Because when others resist and, what is the word, challenge or, I can't think of the word, your growth, then it really has to do more with where they're at. And because you are the one who has the wisdom and the awareness and is making the choices to do it different, to evolve, then it does fall to you to have the greater understanding of knowing that you were where they are once and you chose different. Give them an opportunity, give them a reason to choose different for themselves. Now, as we go along this process, everybody is vibrating and resonating at a different place. But let me say that different. Everyone is resonating and vibrating at exactly where they need to be. And that doesn't mean that we're all going to be on the same page, so to speak. We are all at different stages of growth of our souls. Some of us are old souls. Some of us are new souls. But we're all here to evolve, to grow, to have this human experience. And one of the things that I do want to bring up is that karma. Now, karma and soul agreements really go hand in hand because Karma, I define karma as being an opportunity for a soul to experience and express all aspects of the spectrum of the positive to the negative. And people, there's kind of a distorted perspective of it because that's through ego. And ego says, oh, that's payback. You're going to experience what you have created for someone else to experience. And that's not quite the way that it works. All righty, I see that we just have a call. So again, I'm going to remind you to turn down your computer. Hi, you're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning. Who is this?
Well, Sherry, this is Nishoba.
Nishoba, hi, sweet thing. How are you?
Oh, I'm getting my butt kicked.
Bless your heart.
Well, every
Tell
week
me
I
about
say
it.
I'm going to call in, and today I'm calling in.
Well, good. So let's talk. What do you want to share?
There's so much. The brief thing, I guess, is, and I didn't think this out ahead of time, that the last year and a half of my life has just kicked my butt. And the interesting thing is every time I take a step forward, something kicks me and I take 2 steps backwards. Like I have fallen 3 times in the last year, and the last one I thought I broke a rib. One of them I fractured my toe, I injured my knee, I've had to have shots in my hand, cortisone shots to make my hand work, because when I fell I just keep injuring myself. And for the last week, all my lights in my house, the light bulbs have started. I just noticed it today, so I'm mentioning it. Going out, and I have to replace all these light bulbs. And then this morning, my dog's sick, and I'm like, and let me just say that I won some money at the casino, but now my dog's sick, so I got to go spend the money I won, getting my dog well, and I just keep saying, what's going on?
Well, as far as you winning the money and your dog getting sick, maybe you won the money because the higher realms knew your dog would get sick and knew that they were taking care of you in their own way. It's all how you perceive it, honey. But one of the things that I'm getting loud and clear is that your body is speaking to you in volumes, man. You're trying to go where you're not ready to be. And that's why you go 2 steps forward, or 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. There is something in that process that you are not complete with. And you may be halfway through it. You may just have one more, sentence to write with it, so to speak. But there is some reason that you are not being allowed to go forward. And my knowing tells me that it's because there's something that's left undone. The way that your body is hurting, your toes, your knee, your hands, okay, those right in themselves are big messages to you of where to look, because your toes represent the details of your future. Which toe was it that you hurt?
It was the right foot baby toe.
Okay, the right foot, the baby toe represents unions, family and pretending.
Go ahead.
The right side of the body is letting you know that, of course, from the solar plexus down, all of this is fear first. So it's having to do with family and pretending. There's a lot of resentment and fear involved. Your knee is about your bending and pride. Which side was that on?
Oh, the right side. When I fell, I injured the right toe, the right knee, and the left hand. And then when I fell again, I injured the left rib.
Okay. So the right side is about the resentment and pleasing. You resent your inability to please, whether it's a person, place, thing. It's an authority to you, something that you're giving your power away to.
Oh, yeah.
The hand represents your ability to grasp life. And on the left side, it represents anger, wanting to have your own way, functioning off of to think a thing makes it so, or, well, if they would change, I'd be fine. Okay? These are all messages to you from your higher self of where to look. It's you're not being allowed to move forward until you get what you missed. Because for you to move forward without that tool would be much more detrimental to you. So it's really a matter of asking the questions of yourself, Show me what I'm missing. Just put it out there. Now, if you're expecting an answer back like we're having a conversation, that ain't going to happen. You just need to put the question out there and then listen and watch the signs that are coming to you. And as you put the questions out there, you may not like the answers, you may not like the signs you get, but don't negate them, don't dismiss them. Look at it.
But let me just say, I what you're saying makes sense, and I don't want to interrupt you, but I moved here, and then I planned to move here to help my parents, and then my dad had a stroke. And my dad is now a 5-year-old in an 85-year-old body. And he pouts and he whines and he yells and he cries, and if he doesn't get his own way, so everybody gives him his own way, except I, fight against it. And I have to sometimes just step away. I haven't seen my family in over a week because I just had to get away from my family.
And there's nothing wrong with that, and I congratulate you and honor you for doing so, because that's also part of what I was talking about through the show with the soul agreements and the karma. We have a tendency to think that we owe our parents, that we, there's so many of us baby boomers out there now who are taking care of our aging parents or are watching them make the transition, whether it's quick or slow. And we have a tendency, I think, collectively to think that as people get older, they get nicer, or that they're going to change, or that they're going to be different. They're not. They're going to be who they are. They're going to always be who they are. And it depends on what their life becomes, how they experiencing express. Are they aware? Are they playing victim? Are they getting, sucked into the role playing? Would you treat your child in the way that people are treating their aging parent? This is a very important question, or at least statement to look at. They're still who they are. And they're frustrated, they're angry. There still is behavior, boundaries, respect. Yes, I understand going off and getting angry. I'm one of the best at it. But at the same time, whenever you're dealing with a child or an older person or an elderly person who has a physical dysfunction, you have to have empathy. But the compassion in this situation is not to the highest good of all. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I'll add this to the mix. Growing up, I hated my father, and in my 30s, I realized that he was doing the best job that he could. But my father is misogynistic. He's a racist. He's all those things that white males in their 80s are because of the way that they were raised. And spending time with him, listening to jokes about women with big boobs and having him show his pictures of naked women to people, and everybody humors my father.
Exactly.
And I can't stand it.
Good. Set the example, because that is just encouraging the behavior. It's giving it permission. You've heard me talk before telling you about how I stand up and yell at the TV set. And everybody thinks I'm nuts. just because the TV can't hear me, what good is it going to do? It's an energetic thing. You're voicing an objection to the information, to the status quo. And if you don't put an objection or challenge that energy, it will continue. And that's part of the problem, I think, that we are dealing with now is we have always indulged the bullies, the white ivory tower, so to speak. And
it's
now
being put in our face.
yeah, it is. And now is the opportunity, because this isn't really about your father. He's walked the path that he has needed to walk for his soul's evolution, regardless of what that is. We can't judge that. We can't know that. Your father's situation and your situation in the family at this point is equivalent to the book that everybody in your family is being taught from. Every one of you are going to be being taught from a different chapter. But this is about your evolution, Neshoba. This is about you being able to see where your boundaries are being crossed, where you're being disrespected, where you need to honor who you are. Do it through love and kindness of yourself first, and then you can do it with love and kindness to those around you. But you would not keep yourself in that situation if it was anybody but your father. Would
True.
you? So why are you doing it there? There's no respect there. And to say that he's old and he doesn't know is not true, because this is a manifestation of who he's always been, from what you just shared.
True.
So, pat yourself on the back. Give yourself a break and say, yes, I am taking care of me. I'm meeting my needs. And I am going to look at the family and pretending. Honey, that's what that's about. The injury is the anger manifesting. You're pretending with your family about something that isn't true. And you're setting it's on your toe, because that's your future. You can't get there until you shift that in this present. Does that make sense?
Okay, what you just said was really meaningful, and I caught a piece of it because my mind was going, because I'll tell you honestly, I lived for many years away from my family, and since I've moved back, I feel like an interloper. I feel like, I'm going to cry because I know I'm right. They have created a family dynamic that does not include me.
True.
And I'm an outsider. And I spend more time wondering, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? Because I'm not really a part of this family. And when I speak it to my family, they talk to me like I'm an idiot, like it's not true, like they disqualify it.
Well, of course. What I want to make you aware of, though, is that, yes, what you're saying is true. You are an outsider, but you chose that because you chose to walk the path that you're walking. All of us are going to evolve differently. I'm the outsider, so to speak, in my family, and there is a reason for that. Don't deny the obvious, and they're not going to see it because that's not their consciousness. For them to admit that, it would take them down the rabbit hole to a whole bunch of other guilt and blame and judgment and all of that they're not ready to have a part of their experience yet. They may get there, and they may not, and you have to let that be okay. But you also have to honor the path you have chosen. And you may not have relatives as your family, but you create your own family by choice when that happens. I have the most amazing family, and there's only a couple of relatives included in it. So it's all perspective, babe. You're beating yourself up for something that you should be patting yourself on the back for, in my opinion. You just need to shift the crystal. And it's hard to do when you're caught up, when you're sucked into that energy where they are. And if you have to walk away, every day for 2 or 3 hours, then you do that.
Sometimes
you have to meet your own needs as far as keeping yourself in balance. Otherwise, you're going to be hurting your accident, injury, illness, disease, and unusual behavior. Your body is screaming at you, honey.
Oh, God, yes. In fact, I was telling someone, I work for half an hour, and then I have to sit for half an hour because I'm so tired. I'm just so
Well, my God,
broken.
why wouldn't you be?
And I use that phrase. I tell people, I'm broken. I need a better.
You're what?
Broken.
You tell people you're. No, you are not broken. Do not claim that. Now.
I'd like a different. Go ahead.
Yes, you are not broken, and that is so important for you to acknowledge, honey. You are a unique, one-of-a-kind, radiant, rare, and precious cosmic miracles having a human experience. Yours is not going to be like anybody else's ever. And because it's not, that doesn't make you broke. It makes you different. It makes you unique. You are not damaged. You are not broken. You are not less than. And this is where you are going to have to find that in your heart and start standing up to your ego and the rest of the bullies in this world who want you to be less than. This is where you have a choice. Don't keep claiming a lie.
I'm typing these things in so I can look at them later, like stand up to your ego, that's important. Don't deny the obvious, that's really important.
Exactly, it is. And love yourself. If you had a best friend who was going through what you're going through, would you treat them the way you're treating you?
I don't have a clue.
You wouldn't. You absolutely wouldn't. So stop treating yourself like that. You're going through some incredible challenges, just like all of us, but we're all going through it different. And this is where, the karma aspect comes in, because karma is not about punishment or payback. It's about an opportunity to experience the opposite of what you had already previously experienced, positive or negative. Nothing is being done to you. Everything is being done for us. And it's all about our choice. Pardon?
I keep talking to my angels. I keep saying, help me out here. Help me out here. But nothing seems to be working.
Then ask a different question. Ask it a different way. Say, show me what I need to know.
Yeah.
Make it more clear. If you've asked a question and you don't feel you're getting an answer, tell them. Be clear. I'm not getting the message. Be more clear. Tell them what you need. And see, that is the same thing that we don't do in our physical realities, that we don't tell people what our needs are. And just because we have a need doesn't mean we're asking somebody else to meet it. We're just simply sharing with someone that this is our need. I need to be respected, honored, and valued, and I'm going to do it for myself. And then if you guys want to do it, that's fine. But I'm doing it for me first, because I can count on me. And that's what's the most important thing. You have to set the example by how you treat yourself as to what you want, how you want others to treat you. And if you're always putting yourself down and negating yourself and making yourself wrong, then that's the feedback you're going to get from everybody else in your life. At least that's the way you're going to hear what they say, regardless of what they're saying, because it's being filtered through that false belief you hold.
Yep, good point. Good point. Well, anytime I don't with my family, I feel like they're judging me that I didn't.
So let them judge you. Who cares? Does their judgment of you make you good or bad or right or wrong? Did you do anything to create that judgment and truth? That's theirs. That comes through their filters.
Yeah, that's.
Honey, they can't.
I need to
cannot.
hear this. I need.
Well, the one good thing about it is the show is recorded, so you can go and play it back as many times as you
Oh
want.
wow! I guess I didn't realize it was recorded.
Oh yeah, it's archived. Go to my website and you can hear any of them, all of them.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, I typed a bunch of things to remind myself, but I sure hope that this. I don't know if hope's the right word. That I can turn this around, because you're exactly right. I don't have a job. I can't seem to get my health in order. I can't seem to get my house in order. I can't seem to get anything in order. I am completely, even if I'm standing at the doorway, I'm completely blocked from walking through the door.
And you have to let that be okay, because you can't get beyond where you are until you completely accept that you're here, where you are now. And right now, you just have to. You do. We all have to do that. We keep wanting to go beyond where we need to be. We want to push the river. We want to make it, but our higher self is not going to let us do that, because our higher self knows the next step and knows what's in store for us and the tools that we need and the wisdom we need to carry with us to be able to make the journey with grace and ease. For us to be put in the, to be allowed to go where we're not ready to be is going to create much more damage down the road. We've seen that in our school systems, where teachers will pass kids that are not prepared for the next grade just to get rid of them. Thank God the higher realms don't do that. So it's accept that you're here and let it be okay. I'm here for a reason. I don't understand it. I trust, I know that this is for my benefit. And when it's time, I'll know why and how it's to my benefit. And the minute that you do that, it only takes time to make that statement before the energy shifts, because that acknowledgement is instantaneous.
Yeah, if only it were that easy, really.
Sweetie, it is that easy. It really is that easy.
I can only guess then that the next step is going to be really amazing, because I've been stuck at this step for a really long time.
Mm-hmm. And the best advice I can give you on that is embrace it, celebrate it, honor the fact that you have been stuck here, because I guarantee you, if you pushed your way through this, if they allowed you to push even a little bit, you would be thanking God for unanswered prayers. You don't want to go where you're not ready to be as much as you think you're ready to go. It's like us being kids, being in that preteen body and mentality and wanting to be grown up so fast. And then we get there and we're going, what the hell was wrong with me?
Yeah.
So it's honor you, honey. Honor where you are. And if you're stuck, be stuck. Be the best stuck you can be. Embrace it, relish it, give what you can from it, wallow in it, and then let it go. And then you will be amazed at how quickly you get unstuck. But it's all about awareness. It's all about you giving yourself permission to live your life based on your heart, based on who you are. Not who others want you to be, not who they've told you to be, not who you've tried to become for them. Because in a lot of ways, you're discovering who you are just as much as everybody else is.
Well, let me just say, because I've known you for a long time, you probably think we keep having this conversation. How many times have we had this conversation?
But you know what? Each time you understand it different, and that's what it's about.
Yeah, I'm not even going to use the S word. I'm pretty smart, and I can figure things out. I can figure things out, but this one has got me. This one
requires the heart brain.
Well, I will tell you on a good note. I will tell you on a good note that I was sitting here. I've been home alone for a week, completely alone, nobody else. I turned off my phone. Nobody can get through to me. My parents finally showed up at my door to see if I was still alive, and I told them I was fine and goodbye. And that was honoring me. I don't care what people think, but that was honoring me. I said, don't,
yes, it was.
I'll let you. But then I did call my mom back and tell her that I was fine. But I was sitting here completely by myself, doing very little, by the way. And I had this moment where I did hear myself, and myself said that I want to write. And, it made me really emotional, and I know this, and I have these books that I want to write. Maybe I'm percolating before I begin, but I just know that, I heard it, and I felt it, and it gave me a forward thing, but there's no movement. It just told me that's where I want to go.
Honey, and that's huge. That's 50% of it right there, is knowing where to go. Right. Just start writing. Just start writing poems, write memos to yourself, get a journal, carry it with you, start doing that. However you need to get it done, but do it. It's not going to, it's not like you're writing the great American novel. It may turn out to be that, but it doesn't start out as
it will.
that.
I actually have 4.
Good for you.
And a series of children's books. I just can't.
And honey, keep doing it.
Yeah.
Give yourself permission to allow yourself to express and experience your knowledge and your wisdom this way. Nobody else can do it the way you can do it.
Yeah. I'm going to have to listen to this all over again.
Good.
A few times, because I love that.
Yes,
allow
ma'am.
yourself to express and experience. I mean, that is really permission.
Yes,
Permission.
It is. Yes.
Might mean I have to go back to the casino because I won a bunch of money. I could afford to, gamble some more. Anyway, even if my dog has to go to the vet,
Well, he is in our prayers, and we know he will be very in good hands. Speedy recovery.
Well, she's pretty old. She's 13, and I get that. I get that she's old.
Yeah.
So.
Well, then we will ask for her highest and greatest good to manifest.
Excellent. Well, good. I might have to call back on somebody else's behalf, but I certainly don't want to take up time from someone else who might want to talk to you.
Oh, sweetheart, what you have shared and with all of us today, and the way that you have opened your heart to share your struggle is phenomenal, because you really have no idea how many people will benefit from this. Their journey's not as yours, but your experience, the energy, there is a common thread. We are all evolving. And I would dearly love to hear from you again and see how you're doing. So keep us updated. Get a fan club going here.
Hey, I put you on follow on my Facebook. I'm getting better at Facebook.
I'm learning it too. It's a very complex process. It's interesting.
Do you have someone holding?
No, I do not.
Can I ask another question?
Of course you can.
I actually have 2 questions, but I don't want to be, piggy with your time. I have a friend whose father went on an annual trip, and he went out on his boat, and his boat came back, but he didn't. And they've never found him. And I've told her she should call and ask you, but I'm calling to ask you if you get any insight at all that I could share with her.
What I am getting is that he used that opportunity to make his transition, and he's fine. He's happy. He's doing okay. But he's not here any longer in this physical realm.
Yeah, we didn't think so.
And you know that, huh?
I'm going to ask if you believe that they'll ever find him. He was in a wetsuit.
Probably, I'm getting no, that's not that they're not going to at this point. Now things change. You know, there could be different energies come up that there's a reason that it needs to be found. But at this point, I'm not getting that there is going to be a recovery of the body.
I felt that too. I felt that myself.
Yeah. But again, remember, we are getting so much closer to the transition, to the shift. And you know as well as I do what that means. And people are going to be given opportunities to check out, to leave, because it's not their soul agreement and their life's choice to go through the ascension. There are a lot of us who you know, that's what we're here for. That's our purpose. And then there are a lot who come, they've done their purpose, but they don't want to actually go through the energetic shift. And that's perfectly okay. There's no judgment. There's no good or bad or right or wrong. My father is in the process of transitioning as we speak. So we're all going to go and be and experience exactly what we need for our highest and greatest good, for the evolution of our soul. And I'm being kind of poked to mention that when life experiences come up that are not a part of our original soul agreement, there is, in a sense, in human terminology, it boosts. We're compensated. It's like an extra credit type thing. That if
Cool.
our soul, it was only going to evolve maybe 10% as a result of this incarnation, and you experienced and participated in something that was not part of a soul agreement, regardless of what it is, then you will maybe evolve 20% or something like that. So there is always a balance, even though it's not going to manifest necessarily in the physical realm, but because we are spiritual beings having this human experience, when we're done, then it's a really beautiful process. So he is made his transition and celebrated.
Yeah. So you're really saying embrace, and you probably already said this, embrace every experience as an opportunity for growth and learning
Yes.
and wisdom. And
Yes. Oh, my God, yes. Because that's all it is. It's the powers that be that label it and put a judgment on it and make it good or bad or right or wrong. Because some of the things that we know in our heart to be true and right for us, if we did it, it would empower us. It would make us more of who we are. Well, that's the last thing that the powers that be, who are trying to control and manipulate us and feed off of our fear, want us to do. So if part of our... Go ahead.
I'm adding to what you're saying. Fear. I mean, there's so many wonderful experiences, even ones that I'm thinking about this as you're speaking, even ones that are horrific and seem scary. Our fear keeps us from embracing them.
Yes. When if we embrace them, we would learn so much. You know, again, hate, anger, fear, and resentment are all neutral emotions. It's what we do with them that makes them good or bad or right or wrong. Fear can be the most paralyzing, threatening experience you can have, or it can be your best friend and guide you through a minefield. Same way with hate and anger. They can be extremely destructive, or they can be the impetus to create change. Nothing can be changed until it's recognized. And sometimes that recognition comes through a lot of anger and frustration and fear and everything else. But once it explodes, so to speak, once it comes to the surface, then it can be recognized. And then you can make a choice. Do I want to keep it, change it, alter it, eliminate it altogether? What do I want to do with it? But you can't do any of that until you know it's there.
Well, you know, here's an interesting challenge, and it happens to me, so it probably happens to other people. Something happens, and I get really upset or angry, and I react. And then 5 minutes later, I get down to business. But during that reaction time, it affects how other people respond to me or view me because of I had that emotive moment that I didn't control.
Well, so what? You're human. We do that. That's the charge. Whatever you reacted to in that way, you felt threatened enough to trigger your survival with enough energy to respond that way. All of those people that you're worried about judging you for your behavior in that situation have responded and reacted in exactly the same way at some point in their life. And why are you making their opinion of you that important? If you reacted and released the charge and then came back to it 5 minutes later and said, okay, now what was that all about? Hallelujah. That's great. You can always go and apologize for them getting to experience your evolution if that's what you feel you need to do. But,
and sometimes I do.
Well, then do it. But be sure how you're wording it. Do not say I'm sorry. Say I hope it was not that uncomfortable to you when you experienced me having an evolution. But don't go be saying I'm sorry.
That good word. See, that's so much better than I'm sorry. That's so much better. But you're so good because you got these things, but in that moment, and then in the moment when you go back and say, I'm sorry, I acted like that, you forget not to say I'm sorry.
No, I don't.
No, I forget. But you don't. Or maybe you do, but I don't think you do.
Well, it's a habit. It's just replacing it. I've been doing it for a long time. My habit is already locked in. Yours is just being learned. And I've worked for a very long time and had people really, really upset with me because I refused to say I'm sorry. That's the accepted mode of communication.
Yeah.
But once I explained to them, no, it's not happening. I'm a beautiful, radiant, rare, and precious cosmic miracle. I am not less than. I am not unworthy. And I'm not going to use a term that means that to describe my sadness at your experience. No.
And I am going to have to go back and listen to this one again and again because so many good words.
Well, it's wonderful getting to have this conversation with you, and I'm so honored you called and have put all of these points out there because this is exactly the way that we all learn is through exact experiences. Somebody else is going to have knee pain. Somebody else is going to have their hand hurting. And if it will trigger somebody to look it up or to go deeper or to even ask, God bless you, darling. I thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I certainly hope to hear from you again.
Well, you're on my Sunday list. I'll tell you honestly, I often miss your show because that's when I take my dad for coffee.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't take him today. So here I am.
Oh, well, how awesome. Well, I just also want to remind you that, go to my website because all of the shows that I've done are available there, and they're also available on YouTube.
Nice.
So you can hear any and all of them, and especially this one. This has been amazing.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
It has really been my honor and privilege. Thank you for calling, darling. I love you dearly.
I love you too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, wow. That was just the best. And I am so grateful, Neshoba, that you would call and share your life with us this way. Because this is exactly the kind of thing that I think that we all need is an opportunity to be able to talk about what's going on and get the questions answered right then and there. What you do with them, is up to you, but at least you have that tool to work with that you didn't have previously. And I also wanted to expand more on um, the issue of karma because, like I said, I think that it's very much misunderstood and misused because we are all unique and different, and we're all having our own uh, rare and precious spiritual journey in a human body. We're going to do things that are going to be offensive or hurtful to other people. They're going to do things that are going to be offensive or hurtful to us. That's part of life, and that's how we grow and experience and evolve. And yet each of us will respond and react different to any outside stimulation or to the book that we're being taught from. So if somebody does an injustice to you, to wish them that same injustice is of no value because they don't have the point of reference, so to speak, of being able to understand that what they did to you or what the emotions and the feelings that what they did to you created within you because they've never had that experience. Now, they may not have a balancing experience of that situation until they have another lifetime. That's the karma aspect. You will experience what you have uh, uh, created for someone else or inflicted upon someone else, and vice versa. But you're going to get it in the way that resonates with your soul, with your lessons, with your belief system. So tit for tat doesn't work in karma. And I just think that it's important that people have the clarity and the distinction between that. People have a tendency to think of karma as a punishment. They're going to get theirs. Karma is a bitch. All of this is, in my opinion, false information. If you've never experienced something, it's like when a person is conned. If they don't have within them that belief, that mentality to treat other people that way, they will not recognize it whenever it's done to them. So the first time they're going to get conned, they're going to be taken advantage of us and used and abused until they learn what they needed to learn through that experience. So we can never see in another person that which we do not have or have the potential to possess within ourselves. And for our soul's evolution, karma gives us the opportunity for us to have the experience that fills in that gap. So I think that ties in with the soul agreements because the soul agreements are based on us assisting our soul families in their own personal evolution. We're going to do every single thing that we possibly can to help someone else become more of who they are because we know that that is going to be received in kind by us. There is something else that I wanted to share with you today. I really love listening to or reading the channeled information from Susie Ward in her program. It's called Messages from Matthew. And Matthew was incarnated as her son in this lifetime. And he died when he was very, very young. And after he died, he started channeling through his mother. And because of their resonance, there is what I perceive as a quality of truth, of clarity that comes through in his channeled messages. And I just wanted to read an excerpt from his latest message. It says, "Lightworkers, you are the vanguard of the growing numbers moving toward a world where love prevails over all. In numerous messages, we have told you that love and light are one and the same energy, the most powerful force in the cosmos, and the key to transforming your world. That love is the composition of the soul and the bond that reunites people and animals who are dear to each other. Maybe we haven't told you often enough, though, that growing spiritually and consciously includes loving self. You could say that soul level evolvement starts with loving self. You have to know how love feels to you before you can feel love for others and be open to receiving it. Dear brothers and sisters, self-love is not self-centeredness, egotism, vanity, pridefulness, or any other third-density trait. Loving self is honoring your divinity as a part of God. In simplest terms, love is God's sharing of himself with all of his creations. Love is the healing force of the universe and needs only your allowance of those innate sensations of loving others and receiving their love for you. Love has no limitations, no boundaries to its capacity. In expression, love is treating others with kindness, fairness, honesty, compassion, helpfulness, caring, respect. If love could be said to have ingredients, then those are some of the ingredients of the godly expression in action. So until next week, follow your heart's song and paint the world with the colors of your soul. Bye-bye.
At T-Mobile, we're declaring the end of data limits. Introducing T-Mobile One. One price, all unlimited for everyone. That's right. Get unlimited 4G LTE data on your smartphone on our network that was built to handle it. And get it at a price that won't break the bank. With 4 lines of unlimited LTE data for just $35 a line per month with AutoPay. Switch today.
Top 3% of data users greater than 26 gigabytes per month may see reduced speeds until next bill cycle. Video typically streams at 480p with qualifying credit discount via bill credit plus taxes and fees.
At T-Mobile, we're declaring the end of data limits. Introducing T-Mobile One. One price, all unlimited for everyone. That's right. Get unlimited 4G LTE data on your smartphone on our network that was built to handle it. And get it at a price that won't break the bank. With 4 lines of unlimited LTE data for just $35 a line per month with AutoPay. Switch today.
Top 3% of data users greater than 26 gigabytes per month may see reduced speeds until next bill cycle. Video typically streams at 480p with qualifying credit discount via bill credit plus taxes and fees.